A judge in Brazil has banned messaging app WhatsApp in Brazil for 72 hours. Investigators there have been trying to get information from the company, which is owned by Facebook, for a drug trafficking case in that location. Joining us now to talk all about the broader implications here of this particular move for both users and investors, he's Ken Wisnefski. He's the founder and CEO of WebiMax. So Ken, there are 100 million WhatsApp users just in Brazil. What does this shutdown mean for WhatsApp and, in turn, parent company Facebook from a company perspective overall?
I think the bigger question is really related around privacy in general, and ultimately with the fact that more and more of apps and different devices are encrypted and have much more privacy for the actual users of the devices. At the same time, we recognize that this also helps the bad guys, if you will, be able to hide some of the activity that they're doing. So I think when you look at something like this, I think it affects all of social media and ultimately a lot of the data that's out there now that all of us are so ingrained with on a day-to-day basis.
Well, it's fair to say this is just Brazil for right now, but the precedent it could set for other governments could have wide-ranging implications here. So you mentioned the balance between, the privacy concerns, the state's concerns. How much do you think privacy concerns posed by these investigations into apps and social media accounts could impact technology companies and their user growth, especially for social platforms?
I think it's definitely becoming a lot more of a concern. Obviously, I think what we have right now is a scenario where people that are looking to do something wrong, if you will, have the opportunity to go and find the technology that ultimately kind of covers their tracks more than the next. And also at the same time, that same technology is technology that's interesting to people that just use it for day-to-day basis and like to just use it as something as part of their daily life. So ultimately, I think that this has wide-ranging effect, and the fact that governments are actually stepping in and quote-unquote shutting things down is really something that I think needs to be paid attention to.
You mentioned the people who use it on a day-to-day basis, the retail users, so to speak, the consumers of these products. What should those consumers take away from this ruling or this particular action all the way in Brazil? Would you say that consumers and their privacy are more at risk, less at risk? Does it really matter? Too early to tell? What's your take?
I think it does. I think you mentioned the word precedent, and I think that this begins to start to set a precedent. Obviously, we've seen other scenarios like this just recently, obviously with the terrorist event in San Bernardino and the willingness to kind of unlock the iPhone there, which eventually was unlocked, but ultimately took quite a bit of haggling to be able to get to that point. We see that the privacy issues and the encryption and data in general is becoming a bigger and bigger topic, and it's only going to intensify. So I think for people that are actually quote-unquote retail users of this, I think there should always be the notion that anything that you write or anything that you post or anything, pictures that you have, ultimately could not be as private as you might think they'd be at some point.
So I guess the assumption to be safe for everybody out there is you got to assume that whatever you put out there on the internet, on your mobile device, could at some point be open for scrutiny by somebody, state, public, or otherwise. Ken, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
No, go ahead.
No, I said absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks Ken Wisnefski for joining us. That's Ken Wisnefski. He's the founder and CEO of WebiMax. And thanks for watching. I'm Dominic Chu. Have a great day.